Next question. Given that direct mail's role is changing, what do you expect? So you started to talk about this production supply chain.
Right.
We're moving from mass to more targeted. Given these changes, what do you think is going to happen within the supply chain? I'll start with you, Chris.
Well, I can only equate it to this. We're going to have less staff. Our customers are going to have less staff, like we talked about here, and we're going to have to do the same amount of projects, if not more, maybe less volume, less type of reach, more targeted, with less supply chain. So the ability for a key supplier, more strategic, quite frankly, than getting jobs, to execute 4 or 5 different types of operations, to do a turnkey and seamless in one handoff with, and understand the strategy behind it, that's going to reap benefits. That's where the market share is moving to. Our supply chain right now is 1,800 people across all platforms. That's broadcast, art buying, print, and interactive. And interactive is still very small because we haven't gotten a lot of those on board yet. We would like to get that down, and I tell you, every Fortune 500 company is probably telling us we'd like to get that down under 750 by the end of next year. And it's because it's costly to have 1,800 suppliers. It's crazy for us to think we're going to get the people to interact with 6 different people on 6 different parts of a project if one person can do the whole thing and we can justify and leverage that appropriately. So you're going to see that type of procurement and finance activity driven through almost all components of the marketing execution chain.
Okay, so if that's one type of shift. Connie, when I first met you, which is going back 4 or 5 years ago, you know, TFC was a fulfillment company, and you have morphed the company over time. If you could kind of walk people through that as part of this discussion, that would be helpful.
Sure. So I started the Fulfillment Center, TFC, back in 1988, and basically I was a collateral fulfillment provider. And as digital came into play, short-run color became less expensive. Guess what happened to all the collateral fulfillment? It basically ended up with only the really large runs and things that couldn't migrate to digital. So what we did was we folded in digital print into the offering. We also purchased a letter shop and folded in direct mail, and we morphed ourselves into a marketing service provider. And now basically what we're working toward is morphing ourselves again into a marketing automation provider. To Joe's point, how's all that work going to get done? If staff is contracting 50%, the work is going to get done through automation. And that's really how the game is going to change. And there are a lot of technology providers out there working on resource management and things of that nature, but it's really going to be automation that's going to drive the trigger-based programs, and a lot more will be templated, and will, as to Joe's point, content blocks, digital assets, and this whole idea of being dynamic and flexible, and to be able to build campaigns on the fly, offer management, those types of things are what's really going to be prevalent. And there is mixing online and offline as well. So there's definitely room for offline service providers to migrate over to the technology side.
We track